All right, good evening, everybody. This is the Fantasy Sports Boss. We are live for the Thursday night Fantasy Cast. We have the Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Rams. Not a good game, but it's a game nonetheless. So I'm gonna be with you for the first half of this game, and it's let's face it, it's gonna be a blowout. There's really no appeal with this game. But the bigger story today is anybody healthy to play this Sunday? I mean, the injury report this week is absolutely ridiculous. The amount of names that even just showed up on the injury report today is beyond insane. With 6 teams already on a bye this week, the pool of players that could potentially make an impact is shrinking, and it's shrinking quickly. So, going to go through all these injuries that came down today, and a lot of new guys were added to the injury report, and again, some big names. So certainly concerning to me. In terms of myself and my lineup, because some of my guys popped up on the report today. But just in general, with so many teams on a bye this week and such high stakes with the fantasy football playoffs now right around the corner, and this is a big clinching week. So, we have to make sure we stay ahead of the game here, and we'll discuss all these injuries. So before I go any further, of course, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button as well, and also bop the like button for me. Hi, Rain. How are you? God bless as well. Plumsky, Jamal Williams, or Damian Pierce? Jamal Williams, because Damian Pierce and the Houston Texans, they are going to get run over quickly by Dallas in this game. Both Brandon Cooks, who's already been ruled out, and now Nico Collins is doubtful. They have nobody. I mean, who are they going to throw to? Philip Dorsett and Chris Moore. So the game script is completely against Damian Pierce this week. It's going to get ugly. It might even be a single-digit fantasy game for Damian Pierce. And that, again, speaks to my concern of being a CeeDee Lamb owner, that the game could get so out of hand, like last week against Indianapolis, that the prime Cowboy offensive players are going to be sitting on the bench in the fourth quarter. And it's going to be very run-heavy in the second half overall. Really hoping the Raiders can torture the Rams side. Yeah, I think they're going to. And so here's the thing. I spoke about it earlier about how my condolences if you're going against Josh Jacobs tonight. Certainly not the way you want to begin your fantasy football matchup this week if you are going against Jacobs, and even Devontae Adams as well. But the only thing I could say about that is the only hope you have is that the Raiders run over the Rams so quickly that, again, with Jacobs having been beat up the last couple of weeks, maybe they sit him down early. And same thing with Devontae Adams, and they don't accrue the massive amount of points that they usually get. So for me, for both guys, 15 fantasy points and under would be, a victory if you're going against either Devontae Adams or Josh Jacobs there. So, let's keep that number in our heads tonight. 15 fantasy points or less. If you're playing either one of those guys, I think then you're good. Anything more than that could be trouble. Like I said, starting Raiders defense with Conley. Yeah, the Raiders. So all 3 quarterbacks are active, by the way. So Baker Mayfield, the Perkins kid, and John Wolford are all active. So I think Mayfield's going to be sprinkled in. There's no way he could make the start with such little preparation time, less than 48 hours really, and he's just not even that good anyway. But again, still no Cooper Kupp, no Allen Robinson. Tyler Higbee's been completely invisible. Van Jefferson, if you want to take an extreme dart throw on him, you could, but I wouldn't advise it. Who would you flex in standard scoring? Wilson Jr. or Hawk? Oh, definitely Hawk. Anybody in that Detroit-Minnesota game you have to play. It's got the highest over-under on the board. There's going to be fireworks all over the place. That's why I did the DJ Chark video earlier today. So make sure you get those guys in the lineup. Kadarius Toney or DJ Chark this week? Well, there you go. AMC just answered your question without even seeing it first. DJ Chark for sure. I think he's very underrated this week. I think it's going to take another week or so for Jameson Williams to find his footing. So that's where I'm going. Cam Akers or James Cook? Oh, God, that's tough. Jets have a good defense. I mean, on volume alone, you see, Joe, if it's a PPR league, I have to go Cook because he's going to catch passes. Cam Akers is not going to catch any passes. And honestly, you don't want anything to do with this Rams offense in general. So, I can't recommend, anybody on the Rams at this point. Raiders D or Chiefs D? I'm going Raiders D. I think I had this nagging suspicion that Russell Wilson's going to have his best game of the season. I don't know why I'm saying it, but I just have a feeling that he's going to have a good game. No scientific evidence to back that up. That's just a feeling that I have. See what happens to Tyreek Hill. It scares me, hoping his sickness doesn't exist. Yeah, so again, there are so many big name guys that showed up on the report today. I'm going to go through that. Daryl Welsh, what's up, boss? Love the work. Oh, thank you, Derry. I appreciate it. You helped me get to 9-4, 8-5, 11-2. Good for you, man. I appreciate the compliments. J.K. Dobbins worth the start? No, I don't think so, because I believe his first game back last time, he only got a handful of snaps, and Gus Edwards is there, and Kenyon Drake is there. So I wouldn't recommend it. So let's start with the Seattle situation. No Kenny Walker or DJ Dallas again today. So it looks like it's going to be Travis Homer, maybe with a little bit of Tony Jones sprinkled in. I saw on Yahoo that Tony Jones has the higher projected points over Travis Homer. I'm not buying that for a second. Tony Jones is a very mediocre runner. He's proven that during his time with the Saints. Pete Carroll likes Travis Homer. He's talked him up in the past. He's an excellent receiver. And, he's shown some flashes of speed when he's gotten opportunities in the past as well. So I think that you have to, if Travis Homer is going to be the guy, if both DJ Dallas and Kenneth Walker miss the game and it's trending that way, I think he's worth the flex. I really do. So, and the other thing that was interesting to me here is that Geno Smith showed up on the injury report today with a right shoulder injury. So that's concerning. A lot of guys were added today, and anytime it's a middle of the week addition to the injury report, that's concerning. So Geno Smith was limited today with a right shoulder injury. He did get banged up against the Rams, so perhaps it's a fallout from that game. And tomorrow we have to make sure that he's practicing. So Geno Smith's having a fantastic season, beyond anybody's expectations. And, the value of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett completely lies in the balance of Geno Smith's availability. Latavius Murray or Ayuk flex? I got to go Latavius Murray because I'm not going with Ayuk with Brock Purdy under center. Seattle or New England defense? I got to go Seattle because Arizona, they're getting all their guys back. Jerry Jeudy start. I guess you could. I mean, they're going to have to pass a lot to keep up with the Chiefs, and no Cortland Sutton. Mike, thank you for all your insight. Where can I find your fantasy football magazine for next year? All right, Fran, a couple of things on that. So I'm going to sell it here on the site. I'll have a PayPal link up that you could buy it. Also, it's available on Amazon, and it's not a magazine. It's a book. So I do it in book form. To do it in a magazine is quite expensive with all the coloring and everything else. So unless you're a big time entity like Sports Illustrated, which I'm not, which, maybe one day, it's much more efficient and cheaper to do it in book form. And it's been well received over the last 15 years. So it's fine. Honestly, when I look at fantasy information, magazines, whatever, I don't care about the pictures. It's just the information. So that's kind of the philosophy I use putting the book together. So I'll make sure about it, Fran, when it comes out. So don't you worry. All right. So moving down the line here, Tyreek Hill. So he was sick. So again, this just like last week, a lot of guys are going down with illness, whether it's COVID or flu. It's a really bad, flu COVID year this winter. It's going to be this winter. So, and DeAndre Hopkins, same thing. He missed practice with an illness all season now because we don't hear about COVID anymore. But I don't think I never bet against Tyreek Hill. He always plays, and I will say this for a smaller guy, he's tough and he's always willing to fight through injuries to play. So I think he'll be out there. DeAndre Hopkins, I don't trust him as much. But I'm not worried. If he misses practice tomorrow, then you got to worry. Do you think they'll say whether Mike Williams will play by noon? Yes. You usually get that information either the night before or early in the morning, and I think he's going to play. All right, so we talked about Josh Jacobs, blah, 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 Baker Mayfield, Harrison. All right, I'm just going through this. So, yes, so Mike Williams was a full participant in practice today, so he's good to go. He's going to play. No issues there. So Justin Herbert's going to have his two guys now, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams back. If you're a Josh Palmer owner, you got to put him back on the bench. Thanks for your input. One more question. Palmer or Chark this week? Okay, again, you read my mind, Palumsky. You got to go Chark because, again, with Mike Williams back, with Keenan Allen, there's not going to be as much left over for Josh Palmer. So you got to go DJ Chark, who I really like this week. I really do. We talked about Brandon Cooks and Nico Collins, the Texans. Yikes, it's going to get ugly. Rondale Moore, non-participant in practice with a grind, so I don't think he's going to go. We talked about DeAndre Hopkins, who's sick. He did not go today, so I think Hopkins will be fine. I mean, very rarely do you see a player miss a game due to illness, so I think he'll be in there. Rondale Moore, though, I don't think is going to play because he's got the groin injury. It's Jonathan Knight, James Cook, Latavius Murray, Rashad White. I need one for a full flex. I would go Zonovan Knight. Michael Gallup, a good start this week. I don't know AMC Machine because, again, that game is not going to be competitive for long. So I can't see it. I try to do better than Michael Gallup. So home over Tony Jones and Chiefs D could I use because they play Houston next week. Yeah, listen, I have Chiefs D waiting for me for the fantasy playoffs. I picked them up a couple of weeks ago with the idea of using them in the fantasy playoffs because they have a really good schedule. So and yes, Travis Homer over Tony Jones. All right, so Jacoby Myers is in concussion protocol. This guy's been a pain in the ass over the last month. From coming out of games early, shoulder injuries, concussion now. This guy is just really annoying me. He had a good start to the season, but it's been all downhill from there. Who knows with the concussion protocol. Damian Harris didn't practice with a thigh, so it's going to be the Ramondre Stevenson show again this week, which is a good thing because I think Stevenson is a hell of a player, even though it was a little bit of a down week. Leonard Fournette was added today to the injury report. He was a limited participant. I think it was a veteran maintenance day. I'm not going to really read too much into it. So, so Jalen Ramsey against Devontae Adams side. Hopefully that'll be somewhat competitive. I can't stand Jalen Ramsey. He's just a big mouth. And he got his jock handed to him by DeAndre Hopkins earlier in the season. So I think he's kind of lost a step a little bit. All right. Lamar Jackson did not practice. No surprise there. It's going to be Tyler Huntley. I think Tyler Huntley could do the job too. He's shown in the past that he's really can be an effective player and he can run. Treylon Burks, concussion. He's not going to play this week. He missed another practice today. I don't see it. So here's another big one. T. Higgins was limited today with a hamstring. So he was just added today. That means he hurt the hamstring in practice. So hamstring is a big problem. And, Hayden Hurst is already going to miss this game. So all of a sudden, if you're Joe Burrow, your targets are starting to drop off pretty quickly. Is Foreman playing? Yes, I think Foreman's going to go. He was limited today. We always got to check back on the Friday practice, but I think he'll be good to go. T Higgins, and the way to beat Seattle is with running the football. So I think Foreman is a good play. I'm worried about T Higgins. Definitely worried about T Higgins. Like with Leonard Fournette being added today, it's a Veterans Day. I'm not really concerned about it. You're welcome, TJ. T Higgins, I'm genuinely concerned about because, like I said, anytime you have a soft tissue injury and you're added to the injury report late in the week, that's a problem. I'd like to say, all right, throw Tyler Boyd in there, but he's been pretty crappy throughout the course of the season. So I'm not really liking what I've been seeing out of Tyler Boyd. So I really don't think there's an adequate replacement there. Saquon Barkley was limited with a neck injury. He's going to play. Again, there's a lot of players we got to check back in on tomorrow. Barkley get paid. He's going to play. Same thing with Josh Jacobs. They're going to play, make sure they're out there. It's been a little bit of a struggle of late for Barkley, no doubt about it. Opposing defenses are selling out now to stop him. But it's, we just got to check back tomorrow. So Trevor Lawrence is in jeopardy of missing the game this week. That would be a pretty big missed opportunity for him and also for Zay Jones and Christian Kirk there against the Tennessee Titans, who are horrendous in pass defense. So the way to beat the Tennessee Titans is not running the football, it's passing it. So if Trevor Lawrence misses a game with a toe injury, and I've said this many times, toe injuries for football players is like death. It's like sometimes it's debilitating, a toe injury. And you're thinking, it's just a toe. Like, what's the big deal? Small body part. No, everything, whether you're a receiver, runner, quarterback, you have to plant to make a cut as a runner or as a receiver in your pattern. As a quarterback, you have to plant your foot to throw. So this is not a small thing. So Trevor Lawrence is now considered probably 50-50 to go. And CJ Beathard is the backup. So, Christian Kirk would have to be downgraded severely from like a low-end wide receiver to a flex. Zay Jones would now become a pure bench guy and Evan Ingram not playable. So the other thing too about the Titans, they're actually very good defending slot receivers. So I think Zay Jones would be the play this week if Lawrence is in there. Not so much Christian Kirk. I think Kirk will be fine. But if you look at the defensive numbers by the Titans, they defend the slots pretty well. It's just the outside receivers they're really, really struggling with. Happy about Higgins news because I have Jamar Chase. Chase is definitely going to get a lot more for sure, Death Lord. Adam Thielen or Matt Collins and wide receiver 3. I got to go Thielen. Derry, I get that. I've done that too. Like, okay, I want to put somebody in tonight so I can, have some skin in a game. But, then the guy does shitty and then you're ruining it for you're kicking yourself the next couple of days for the decision that you made. And, I really like Thielen this week. I think there's going to be 1 million points scored in that game. Listen, Vegas knows what they're doing. The over-under is so high in that game that they are expecting tons of points, and that means lots of passing. So you got to queue up Adam Thielen. Zonovan Knight or Rashad White full PPR. I'm going Knight just because Leonard Fournette actually played one more snap than White last week. And if not for that touchdown reception at the end of the game, White really did, had a mediocre day. So I'm going Zonovan Knight, who's been tremendous. He's been showing good acceleration. Everything he looked great. There's nothing else you could really say negatively about White. Wilson to start if Geno is out. Who are we talking about? Russell Wilson if Geno is out. If it's Russell Wilson, listen, there's not a lot of options on the waiver wire. You might have Mac Jones there. He's Sam Darnold, who I was forced to pick up, believe it or not, in one league. I don't know. It's not looking good. Jamar Chase doesn't get props off the rookie the other. He's better than Justin Jefferson. I don't know if he's better than Justin Jefferson. They're very close though. You think Justin Herbert could have a big game? Yes. Rain with both of his prime receivers back, with Austin Eckler out of the backfield, Gerald Everett coming off a really good game. I think for sure that Justin Herbert will be the Justin Herbert of last season. Listen, he hasn't had his full allotment of receivers the entire season. So that's why the numbers are down. And for a guy who doesn't run much, it's imperative that he has all his weapons at his disposal. Start Akers or Mike Williams? Oh, Mike Williams. And he's going to play. He got a full practice in. When you get a full practice in, you're pretty much ready to go, Akil. And Akers, even if Akers scores tonight, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. You can't start anybody on this Rams team. They're so bad. Bam Knight, a good play with Carter back. Yes. So Robert Saleh has already said multiple times that Bam Knight's not going anywhere. He deserves the right to be in the role that he's in now, which means starting. And honestly, Michael Carter is just a bit player anyway. All right. So Davis or Michael Gallup? Oh God, that's tough. I think Gabe Davis because I think that game is going to be more competitive. I think it's going to be competitive throughout the game for Buffalo against the Jets. It's going to be a real dogfight, whereas I think the Dallas game is going to be over by halftime. And so the opportunities for Gallup, who already takes a back seat to CeeDee Lamb, I don't think are going to be there. Any concerns over T. Higgins? Yes, I'm very concerned, Randy. I said that just before. I'm very concerned about T. Higgins and that hamstring, especially being added to the injury report this late in the week. I have to drop either Kmet or Burks. I would drop Burks because I think Kmet's going to be heavily targeted by Justin Fields when he comes back. So, and I just don't like this Tennessee offense. I have Njoku. Oh, if you have Njoku, then get rid of Kmet. I didn't see that part because Njoku's going to play this week. He's got Deshaun Watson back. All systems to go there. And like I said, Watson will just get better and better. Amari Cooper playing. Yeah, that's another thing. So Amari Cooper, he showed up on the injury report today, and that's another one that we have to look out for. So a lot of big names that have been added. Let me pull that one up. A lot of big names have been added at the last minute. So Dallas is absolutely going to kill them. So it looks like John Wolford is getting the start. That's the word now. Travis Homer upgraded to full. Important development with both Ken Walker and DJ Dallas still not practicing. It's looking like Homer will be the lead back versus Carolina, especially since Tony Jones was so underwhelming in Homer's Week 13 absence. He's a mid-range flex with 6 teams on a bye. So there you go. So Geno Smith, it was his throwing shoulder. Let's see. We're not really too much concern. Okay, so it looks like it's not a big deal. It was really just kind of just to give him a little bit of a breather. So looks like Geno Smith is going to be fine. Let's see. I'm rolling with Deshaun Watson over Tyler Huntley and Jared Goff. Wish me luck. I don't think you should do that, Death Lord, but I'll wish you luck. Holland's a good start. No, again, he could get opportunities, and listen, he could score. Anybody could score, but if you're just going on the fact that this game is going to be competitive for 4 quarters, it's not. And since he already takes a back seat to Devontae Adams, I wouldn't start him. I just don't see the upside being very vast there. Quick question outside of fantasy. We can ask you where you're from. I'm from Alabama. Oh, I'm from New York. So New York, Long Island, New York to be specific, and I'm a Giants fan. So yeah, obnoxious New Yorker here. Homer or James Cook? Oh, James Cook still. Because we don't, Homer, he can catch the ball. We don't even know how good of a runner he is, though. We just haven't seen it enough. Jalen Waddle was a full participant in practice, so no issue there for him. He's as tough as nails. He's always going to play. Cortland Sutton, he was sidelined again. He's not playing. So it's going to be Jerry Jeudy and Greg Dulcich. Kendall Hinton will get whatever's left over. Like I said, I think Russell Wilson could be set for his best game. Again, I don't. The Chiefs have given up a lot of passing touchdowns this season, and I think that Wilson, it's a big game. He's going to have to throw it a lot. I'm just hoping that he has a decent game here. I mean, it's been relentless, the criticism that he's gotten this season, and I get it. I mean, all the money is being paid, fair game, whatnot, but some of it's a little bit over the top. I think it's crazy I picked up Deshaun Watson and not use him. Yeah, I mean, listen, you couldn't use him last week because he hadn't played in forever. So I love Dulcich. Yeah, I like Dulcich this week too. So Deebo Samuel practiced with his quad, no problems there. David Njoku was limited with the knee, but he was back-to-back limited. He should be okay. So it was a hip for Amari Cooper. As usual with these things, it's concerning, but one day is not a trend. So listen, Cooper did speak with reporters on Thursday, which is a good sign. And that's another thing that people overlook, myself included. If the player meets with reporters, they're probably going to play. So Amari Cooper has got the hip injury, but he talked to reporters today. They're not going to and same thing with Saquon Barkley and Leonard Fournette. They all spoke to the media today. You're not going to put a guy in front of the media if you don't think they're going to play, because they're just going to get peppered with questions over and over and over again. You're playing this and that. What's the injury? They're not going to subject them to that unless they're fairly confident that they're going to play. Should I pick and play the Raiders defense against? Yes. Oh, you definitely play the Raiders defense tonight. Are you scared of ETN against Titans run D? He hasn't been playing well. I did that video this morning about him. I'm not liking the way he's running right now. It's a tough unit for sure. Tennessee, the way you beat them is through the air. So I am a little concerned. Hopefully they use him out of the backfield. If it's C.J. Beathard that's starting over Trevor Lawrence, then I'm even more so concerned, because Tennessee is just going to load the box then. Make Beathard try to beat them down the field. My opponent has Tom Brady and I have Deshaun Watson. I'd say I have the edge. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, San Francisco defense is brutal. So Leonard Fournette was limited with a foot injury, new designation. He had no limitations practicing Wednesday. That's a little bit of a problem. Could be just maintenance. Like I said, he didn't meet with the media. So it looks like he's going to be ultimately okay. Saquon Barkley met with the media. Looks like he'll be all right. DeAndre Swift practiced in full with his ankle injury. He should be okay to go. So Deontay Johnson did not practice. He's got a hip. So, Johnson doesn't miss games. Deontay Johnson really doesn't miss games. So if he plays tomorrow, he'll be fine. But, do you even want to play him at this point? He hasn't been good. He's been shaky all season. The numbers are not there. I've been very down on him, and rightly so. So, if he goes, he's really just a low-end wide receiver 3 at best, better as a flex than anything. Would you play the Raiders over Eagles D this week? I'm a Giants fan. That's a tough one. I'd have to go Raiders. I mean, the Rams have nobody. You got to play the matchups there. Najee Harris was limited with his oblique injury. So, again, this seems like a maintenance issue. Najee Harris, another one of those guys who always suits up no matter how beat up he is. So I think he'll be good to go. Donta Foreman was limited with a foot injury. That's an upgrade from not practicing on Wednesday. So he told reporters he's going to play. So, I'm confident he's going to play. Lamar Jackson with the knee did not practice back-to-back days. So it looks like he's not going to play. There was a smidge there was a thought that I had that maybe he would try to give it a go because he's trying to get paid. But then on the other end of that spectrum, you could say, well, maybe he won't play because he's worried about the knee getting worse and whatnot. So, it's a big loss, especially with 6 teams on the bye. What do you think of DK Metcalf's hip injury? I didn't hear anything about a hip injury, but DK Metcalf is another one of those guys. He's a freak who always winds up suiting up Aaron. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. McKenzie or Matt Collins? Oh, McKenzie, definitely. So here's the thing with McKenzie. Scott, I'm glad you brought this up. I'm very, very high on McKenzie this week. So the Jets with DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner are the 2 premier lockdown corners in the NFL. They are going to make life hell for Stephon Diggs and especially Gabe Davis. The deep passing game is not going to be there. So that's going to open up the middle for Isaiah McKenzie and James Cook, the short dump off passes. And McKenzie has really picked up his play the last couple of weeks as well. The targets are really going up. He's on an upward trajectory there. I think McKenzie's sitting on a big game for sure. Drop McKenzie for Gallup, then drop Gallup for Chark. I like Chark better than Gallup, so that's fine. I don't think you should have dropped McKenzie, though. That's the only thing. If you could try to get him back, I would. Would you play Raiders defense over Bucks defense? Yeah, you got to play the Raiders defense. I mean, the Rams are horrendous. So, hey, boss, if you don't like Travis Etienne, what other running back do you recommend I start? Unless you would just roll with Etienne since he could. Rain, if CJ Beathard starts, he's going to dump it off to Etienne all game long. And, I love Etienne as a player, but, I don't know if he's just still not right physically with his foot injury. Maybe he's hitting a little bit of a wall. And I'm going to call it a rookie wall because he didn't play last season. So he's still, in his first year, really, in terms of playing. He's a freak in nature, one hell of a – yes, he is. He's an absolute freak. So the Atlanta Falcons are going with Desmond Ridder next week. So this is not unexpected, the Cincinnati rookie. But really, it's the same thing. Start McKenzie over Chark. I would – 6-1, half dozen the other. You're fine with either one. I mean, if I had to pick, I would probably say Chark because it's going to be such a high scoring game. I have a league starting McKenzie and James Cook. Yeah, that's good, Scott. I would stick with that. Yeah, they haven't, Death Lord, but again, do you really think the Rams are going to score points? If you don't feel good about it, I mean, Tampa Bay against San Francisco, that's a good matchup too because we don't know what Brock Purdy's going to do. Tony, no, don't pick up Kadarius Toney. Do not pick him up. Don't make that mistake again. I'll keep Etienne starting with. I would do that. So Desmond Ridder is a carbon copy of Marcus Mariota. They're the same player. They're limited in terms of passing, shaky accuracy, hell of an athlete, can really run, is going to be a big read option guy, will pick up rushing yards on the ground. So there's some fantasy-friendly elements to Desmond Ridder. But even next season, he's starting from week 1. I'm not drafting Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts, you know what? It's actually a crying shame because next season it's going to be the same thing with Desmond Ridder. His best years are being wasted now in this awful Atlanta offense, which is going to be probably the same deal next season as well. So it's really a major shame for Kyle Pitts, but that his talent is being so wasted in Atlanta. With Desmond Ridder, it's not going to change anything. It's really not. Deshaun should go off this week for sure. I'm calling it. I mean, he's got the talent too, Aaron. There's no doubt about it. All right, we're just about, 13 minutes away from kickoff. Is it 8:15 or 8:20? If it's 8:20, we're about 18 minutes away. Good idea. I'll play Chark instead. Yeah, again, it's the highest over-under on the board, that Lions-Vikings game. And Vegas, Vegas is pretty good with those over-unders, and so they expect a lot of points, as do I. Nick Chubb's going to help ease Deshaun into a second. Yeah, he should. Chubb's had a little bit of a rocky stretch himself because, he doesn't catch passes, so he's got to score touchdowns. He's got to score. He's got to get over 100 yards rushing to have a good game. So there's more pressure on a Nick Chubb start than it would be for like a Josh Jacobs tonight because Jacobs catches the football. How worried should I be about Saquon's neck and Higgins? George, I would not worry about Saquon's neck. He's going to play. He met with the media today. Higgins, I'm definitely worried. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 7 with Higgins, 10 being very, very worried. All right, so was Mayfield. What number is he wearing? 17? I just saw him walk by the screen there. Jamal Williams worth the start today. Jamal Williams is always worth the start. He's always worth the start. The guy is 17. So the guy is money every time it's near the goal line. God, he looks weird. I can't believe this guy already is on his on his third team. I mean, he's just such a bust. It's not even funny. And, you look at that draft class, Baker Mayfield, absolute bust. Sam Darnold, absolute bust. Josh Rosen, bigger bust than those two. And out of those 5 quarterbacks, it was Josh Allen who had the biggest, the highest amount of critics, if you will, about his accuracy or lack of accuracy while at Wyoming. And then you had Lamar Jackson, who, Bill Polian, of all people, said, you know what, he should be converted to wide receiver, which I thought was a disgrace for him to say that. So, 2 of those 5 guys ended up being studs. And then, you look at the Trevor Lawrence draft class. Trevor Lawrence so far, he's still showing signs. I still believe in him, but it's taking quite a while. Zach Wilson, a bust. Justin Fields, who, like Josh Allen, had some accuracy question marks, some question marks about if he could read defenses and whatnot, play an NFL offense. He's now looking like the best quarterback in that draft class. Mac Jones, he's taken a step back this season, and he's very limited athletically. So it's funny how things work out sometimes when you just give it a little bit more time, how things can change. Mayfield is not starting tonight. He didn't have his helmet on, so he's not starting tonight. He still doesn't have his helmet on. So Higgins, wide receiver 2. My only backup receivers are Slayton and Evans. Yeah, that's rough. I mean, Evans on pedigree, it's a bad matchup, George, but, I mean, it's still Mike Evans. Slayton is going against those unbelievable Eagles defensive backs, so I'm a little concerned about that. The hamstring injury is more serious than calf strains. A calf is worse than a hamstring usually because the calf can take weeks to heal. Hamstring could be, 1 to 2 weeks. Calf injuries could be really tough. I'm not worried about Saquon. Just curious. Do you have any idea of being limited because of his net means? I think for him, it's just giving him a breather because, it's been a long season for Saquon. He's not used to playing this long into the season because he hasn't done it the last couple of years due to all those injuries. So I think it's just a maintenance day more than anything. Should I start Bam Knight or Rashad White? It's the second question. Somebody else asked me this. I said Knight because I think Knight's going to get more touches than Rashad White. And so it's all about the touches. Whoever gets more touches has a better chance of putting up more points and better chance of scoring. Jameson Williams, a sneaky flex. I don't know. I thought, he didn't do anything last week. I know it was his first game. It's a long shot. How about that? A long shot flex. Worst team in the NFL, the Houston Texans. Not even a question. How many points will Josh Jacobs score tonight? I think he's going to go for probably 25. I'd say the over-under on Josh Jacobs tonight is, let's say 23. 23 to me seems like a good over-under, only because of the fact that I don't know how competitive this game is going to be. And it would be a good opportunity for the Raiders to take a look at Zamir White if Jacobs, if the Raiders are blowing them out, which I think they're going to. What's your take on Jeff Wilson Jr. this week against the Chargers? Listen, the Chargers are horrendous stopping the run. So I think Wilson will get back on track this week. Game time. Well, yes, game time. Here we go. So I had to tell anybody that has Rams players. Yeah, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be, let me get the volume put up a little bit here. I mean, I wish we had a better Thursday game, honestly. It's a pretty bad one. And the Thursday night slate as a whole have been pretty big. Would you play Mike Williams? Yes, I would play Mike Williams. Are you worried about Knight with Michael Carter? No, I'm not worried about that. Michael Carter has proven himself to be a very mediocre player. He's really just a third down back, in my opinion. So I'm not worried about that at all. Let's see. Let me check some more injury updates here while I have you on. So I'm just hoping for a competitive game. I'd love to see the Rams come down and score and just, at least put some pressure. Although, actually, no, I take that back because in the one league that I'm struggling to clinch for a playoff spot, I need the guy who has Josh Jacobs to lose. So I'm hoping Jacobs somehow is held in check today. I mean, he's got something like, I think it's like 5 or 6 games of 30-plus fantasy points. It's absolutely ridiculous. He's the MVP. He's the fantasy MVP for sure, in my opinion. Thoughts on James Robinson? He has no value. No value whatsoever. The coaching staff's down on him. They're pissed off that he spoke out about his lack of usage last week. So they are not happy with James Robinson right now. I have a drink around here somewhere. I don't know where it is. Water, not alcohol. Let's see. So nothing else. Yeah, so again, tomorrow's going to be a big one. So Football Friday tomorrow, probably 5 o'clock Eastern time. That's what I'm thinking. It's a must it's a must watch tomorrow because I think we're going to have a lot to talk about. Aaron Donald is not playing. I think the Bears have a pretty decent future with Fields. They can get a better line. Yes, they need to fix that offensive line. It's horrendous. So the Chicago Bears, they're going to be in the market in the NFL draft or in free agency for an offensive lineman. They have to. They got to do right by the kid, just like the Bengals did in the offseason, using draft picks and free agent signings to try to shore up that offensive line. It's gotten better as the season's gone on. So that's what the Bears have to do to fully unlock Justin Fields. I hope I didn't make a mistake dropping Kyren Williams if he has a decent game time for Akers again. Yeah, he's going to get the most touches. Akers. I've been a Kyren Williams apologist pretty much, the entire season, and it just hasn't happened. So I don't know why they haven't given him the opportunity. I mean, tonight would be a perfect time for it. Any update on Ken Walker? He didn't practice again. He's not going to play this week. So it's going to be Travis Homer and maybe Tony Jones behind him. And again, I don't understand. Yahoo has Tony Jones more projected points with 10.5 to 5.5 for Travis Homer. I don't know if that's because Travis Homer's injury question marks or whatever it is, but it's Travis Homer is going to be the starter. Carr's probably thanking the heavens about Darren Donald. Yeah, for sure. Aaron Donald is a monster. There's no doubt about it. Christian Watson's a league winner. Yeah, Christian Watson looks like a league winner. And it's very rare that you get receivers in the middle of the season make such contributions. But, just like with Treylon Burks, sometimes it takes a rookie receiver a little time. Not every year you're going to get a Jamar Chase or a Jalen Waddle who comes right out of the gate and posts up, monster numbers. I don't know if anybody here is old enough, but do you remember Anquan Boldin? There was a story. I mean, that guy came out. He was a second-round draft pick. I believe it was Florida State he came from. And his first game, I think he had like 10 catches, and he caught over 100 passes as a rookie. And I know coming into the NFL, he wasn't a speedy guy. He was a great route runner, very physical, tough as nails receiver, but he wasn't fast. And yet he just was constantly getting himself open and catching the ball and everything. That guy was I loved Anquan Boldin. He was awesome. James Conner's so inconsistent. Yeah, a lot of it is health, though, Brian. So I think he's going to be, now that he's feeling healthy, the numbers are starting to flow. I'm forced to play James Conner as a flex since Olave's on a bye. I mean, who are they playing again? New England? Yeah, that's not an easy matchup. But he's playing his best football for what it's worth right now. So I think James Conner might be okay. I think D-line might be a bigger issue. They get no pressure. Sector is decent, just not possible to guard everyone. Yeah, that's true. I agree with you, Jeff. Who's more of a league winner, Watson or Wilson? Right now, it looks like Christian Watson, just because of the touchdown production. I mean, I think, what is it now? 7 touchdowns in the last 5 or 4 games. It's insane. But I think Garrett Wilson's going to wind up being the top rookie wideout. I said Chris Olave in the summer, and that was that pick was working out up until Mike White became the quarterback for the Jets, and now Garrett Wilson is just going absolutely ballistic every both games now with Wilson. I think he's going to do it again this week. He's so good. So I think next season, Garrett Wilson, I think, is going to be a 3rd-round pick, and I'm fine taking him there. Listen, if I could start my draft with like a Justin Jefferson or a Devontae Adams or Stephon Diggs in round 1, maybe a Travis Etienne or a Brian Robinson in round 2, or an Aaron Jones, and then round 3, come right back with Garrett Wilson. That's a hell of a start right there. So yeah, I would, and then round 4, pick that dual threat quarterback. All right, let's see. I wish Pickens was utilized more. It seems very good. Yeah, I don't like the way he popped off though on the sidelines. Like I said, rookies should be seen, not heard. That was very unprofessional of him, very immature of him. And it wasn't a good look. I know he wants the football, but he can't go all diva already as a rookie, especially on a losing team. I tried to claim the Raiders D, but I had to get New England D instead. Maybe they might be okay for Monday night's matchup. Yeah, Aaron, you have the luxury too. If you win, if your matchup is 1, you could just bench the defense. If you don't need the points to break any ties and you have the game in hand, and let's say you're up by 3 or 4 points, then you absolutely bench the New England defense just to hold off on any negative points if the Arizona scores like 35 points. I've done that in the past where I've had the game won and I was up by only a couple points and I had the defense for Monday night and I just benched them to not risk any negative points. Thoughts on Romeo Dobbs rest of the season? It's not going to hurt Christian Watson. No way. He's been way too productive. There's absolutely no chance of that, Death Lord. James Cook's really getting hyped as a league winner. I think that's a little strong. I think Devin Singletary is still the guy. Well, not the guy, but I think it's going to be a 50-50 share. Sorry, guys. I just got to grab the remote. I think Devin Singletary is still going to be heard from, especially when they're in the lead. I think if the Bills are behind, then they use James Cook more for the dump off passes and things like that. But I don't see him as a league winner. Not yet. What's going on with Rashad White or Knight for running back 2? Zonovan Knight over Rashad White. It seems like everybody's got that dilemma. It's the third different person who asked me that. Because Zonovan Knight's going to get more overall touches than Rashad White, pending Leonard Fournette not playing. If Leonard Fournette sits this game out, then I think then you have a debate on your hands. Pickens or Palmer for flex. You got to go Pickens just because Palmer now, with Mike Williams playing with Keenan Allen, and Gerald Everett and Austin Eckler all ahead of him. He's 5th on the target tree. I don't think it's worth using. All right, looks like the Raiders fans are in that are there have their gear on. All right, so who's going to get the ball first here? All right, so it's going to be the Raiders. So, all right, if you're who here in the chat is playing against Josh Jacobs? Let me know because I'm really concerned for you. God, thank God I'm not playing against him. I hate when your opponent has Thursday night players and then you just fall behind early. I can't stand that. Leonard Fournette, Rashad. No, Death Lord. He got more snaps than Rashad White. There's no reason to do that. I was thinking that because Mike Williams is back. So it's going to be – there's no reason. Josh Palmer is really just insurance, for one of those guys getting hurt. And they get hurt every year, so it's good insurance to have. I just rostered Mason. Yeah, you could do that. Christian McCaffrey's going to get a lot of work the next couple of weeks. He might get injured. How do you feel about Judy with Sutton out? Yeah, decent matchup. The Chiefs have given up a lot of passing touchdowns of late. That's a big weakness of theirs. All right, so what are they going to do with pass to Devontae Adams right off the bat to try to shut up Jalen Ramsey? Fake to Jacobs? Nope. All right, they ran it. Man, I hope they could bottle him up today. Palumsky, you have Josh Jacobs. All right. Yeah, I need the guy who has him in the one league that I'm struggling to make the playoffs. I need him to lose. So I'm sorry, Palumsky. I got to root against Josh Jacobs tonight. For the Niners, how do you feel about Judy? Yeah. Mason from the Niners. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good handcuff. He's done well. He looks pretty good. How do you feel about Corey Davis? Okay, I guess. I mean, the Jets, they haven't been utilizing Elijah Moore, so I think that's a good move. All right, so Jacobs got stoned. Hey, listen, if the Rams can make them go 3-and-out on the first drive of this game, that might be the biggest win that they have all night in this one. And especially with Aaron Donald, that was an impressive stop there. My other league, I have Adams and Jacobs. Oh, okay. So you're fully invested in this game. So rise above anything. You were in the same position I'm in because I own Dalton Schultz and Tony Pollard and CeeDee Lamb. Don't ask me how a Giant fan myself has 3 Dallas Cowboys, but I'm worried that they're going to just steamroll the Texans so quickly like they did against Indy last week that at least in Lamb and Schultz's case, they're not going to be throwing it much. Pollard, though, is going to have a huge game. Here we go. Jesus Christ. Did you see that catch? and there was a flag. God, Jalen Ramsey just sucks. He's the most overrated player in football. Wow. Now that was a catch. Yeah, I have Lamb and Schultz. Somebody cut Schultz. That's how I ended up with him. Because he put 3 weeks in a row, he had no points. Bench Daniel Carson for Justin Tucker. Anytime you have Justin Tucker, it's a good thing. One-handed. Yeah, that's, I mean, look at this. And Jalen Ramsey, that's just horrible coverage. He even got the face mask, too. All right, would you stream Huntley, have Prescott, not over Dak Prescott? No, I wouldn't do that. All right, so Jacobs, 3 runs. He hasn't really got much of anything so far. I have Prescott. Yeah, no, I like Huntley. So Jacobs going off the field, probably just getting a breather. No, you don't bench Dak Prescott. Not against the Houston Texans. Definitely not. All right, so Devontae Adams is already on the board. I mean, this guy is just unbelievable. Uh-oh. Who's that, a lineman? Oh, that's not good. All right, so our first commercial break, I'm sure. So, yeah, you don't like to see this. The Raiders are playing better. They really are. I mean, they've won 3 in a row. They have a chance to win 4 in a row. They should have won a couple of games earlier in the season, honestly. They were very disappointing. They let some games get away. I think Josh McDaniels is still kind of feeling his way as a head coach again. So I think that the team kind of let a few slip through earlier in the season. Chase looked good on Sunday. He didn't look rusty at all. And I played against him. So, the person in my league that has Devontae Adams just texted me, you see the catch he had on Ramsey. So it's all right. That was one of those catches where everybody's going to be texting each other, right? So I got to text him back. Yeah, unbelievable. And that's in the guy that just texted me. It's in the league where we're both in the top 2 spots. We're both going to get the first round bye. And that's that guy I was telling you about who drafted like Devontae Adams in the first round, took CeeDee Lamb in the second round, and then took Amon-Ross St. Brown in the third round. And you can't start any better than that. And then got Josh Jacobs in the 5th round. So you talk about a perfect draft. This guy who just texted me, I got to hand it to him. That's like the most perfect draft you possibly could have, at least the start of the draft. I don't remember he took in the 4th round. I think it might have been Dak Prescott, which I thought was a little early for Prescott, but it still kind of worked out. Traded Waddle for Adams a week ago. Oh, yikes. Yeah, I don't like that trade. But, I mean, Waddle hasn't been bad, though. I think he's like 6 or 7 or 8 in fantasy points at wide receiver. I have Justin Herbert and Dak Prescott in the lead. Obviously, going Herbert, Mike Williams back. Yeah, I would do that for sure. And that Chargers game will be more competitive later on into the game. Hope you're doing well, boss. Oh, hi, Bo. How you doing? Hope you're doing well, too. Need your advice. Really didn't do well last week. Do I give Thielen the flex spot one last time, or should I go to Mike Evans or Devin Singletary? I wouldn't give it to Singletary. Jets are a tough defense. I don't like the way Mike Evans is playing. I just don't. And that's a brutal matchup. There's a lot of points to be had in this Lions-Vikings game. I think you got to give him one more week. I think you got to go Thielen. I mean, Evans is not exactly doing anything either. I'm 8-5 right now, trying to go 9-5. I've dropped the last 2 weeks, but I'm in 4th place right now. I've dropped the last 2 weeks in my 7-6 team, so I feel your pain. I also traded Hopkins for Chase. Hey, listen, that was a great trade. And Hopkins now, he's sick, first of all, and now he's got to deal with Marquise Brown being back, and Marquise Brown got more targets. All right, so 2nd and 9. Jacobs back in. Yeah. Oh, man, doink. Matt Collins with a drop. Yeah, he's had a decent season, Matt Collins. He hasn't been bad. And Derek Carr, he's really starting to come around now. He's been in the low 20s in fantasy points the last month or so. But again, when you have somebody like Derek Carr or Matt Stafford or Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, it's very important that they throw 2 touchdowns because they don't run. So they have to, bare minimum, they have to get 2 passing touchdowns. If you have a Justin Fields, you could get by with him throwing only 1 touchdown because he's running all over the field and he's probably collecting a rushing touchdown. Who's this? Oh my God, Amir Abdullah. This is a great drive. See, I'm telling you guys, this game's going to be over by the half. McKenzie or Gallup flex? I'm going McKenzie because he in the slot, he's going to be heavily targeted with the jet corners locking up Stephon Diggs to an extent and Gabe Davis. And remember, the first game the Jets played the Bills, Stephon Diggs did not have a single catch in the second half as Sauce Gardner completely locked him up. I picked up Kadarius Toney. Should I hold him? No, I don't like it. You're talking to the wrong person for Kadarius Toney. I can't stand the guy. Is Jacobs not in the game? Zamir White is in there. Are they spelling Jacobs? Interesting. So Amir Abdullah was in last. There's a flag on the play. So Amir Abdullah was in the last. Excuse me, I almost just knocked the laptop over. Was in for the last play. Now Zamir White is in. So here's what could be happening. That the Raiders, Josh McDaniels knows that he's probably got this game in hand. Now no coach would ever admit this, but maybe there's no reason to push the envelope with Jacobs in terms of giving him that insane amount of carries that he's done the last couple of weeks. What's up? Well, hey, Blair, time to start the new week off strong. Yeah, let's hope. Another penalty on the Rams. God damn it. I mean, they're playing well on this drive mostly, and just penalties are killing them. I love to chase if there's risk. Yeah, there is a risk of re-injury for sure. Tony's always hurt. And as a Giant fan, the guy was a complete waste. Absolute waste. All right, so Jacobs is back in. So they'll probably run him here on first down, soften it up a little bit. He's got a hole. Oh, he should have bounced that out outside. He had a seam on the outside. He didn't see it. So looks like he didn't see he had the edge. Would you stream Rondale Moore? Rondale Moore is not going to play. He didn't practice today. I don't think he's going to play. And he's got the Monday night start, so you can't risk that. So I would go with McKenzie and definitely drop Tony for McKenzie. I really like McKenzie, and I said that in the summer because I had it on good authority from somebody that I know that works on the coaching staff that they were going to feature him heavily, and they really, especially lately, are starting to do that. He had some injuries earlier in the season. He had a concussion. 2nd and 8 here. This is an interesting play call. Yeah, he has he's got some value, but not much. All right, are they going to throw? All right, so Carr, look at this. Derek Carr picking up some yards. So this is a big 3rd down here. Jacobs was open, and Carr didn't see him. They're going to get back Darren Waller next week too, so make sure you check to see if Darren Waller is available. I know he's been disappointing the last couple of seasons, after 2 back-to-back 90-plus catch seasons. But, obviously tight end being the way it is, if Darren Waller is just sitting there. And somebody had dropped him earlier in one of my leagues. I tried to get him, and I wasn't able to do so. All right, so this is an interesting 3rd down. What's going to happen here? They're going to go to Devontae Adams on a go route here. So he's at the bottom of the screen. Oh, God, look at this. Here we go already. He was right there. So now they're going to run him, and he's going to score. God, this guy. I mean, whoever owns Josh Jacobs is so fucking lucky. Unbelievable. It's so frustrating because we all had a shot at him. Every one of us had a shot at him because he went in like the 5th round, and we all messed up. Whoever ended up with him, I know some people in here that have him, kudos, because when he played in that Hall of Fame game, the alarm bells went up all over the fantasy football community. What are they doing? They're going to get him injured. They're showcasing him. They're going to trade him. They didn't pick up the option. Wow, they got double tight. He didn't get it. Did not get it. So they'll probably run him again here. Just say to McKenzie, drop Tony. Yeah, there's no reason to have Tony. No way. He wants to stay in. Yeah, he's like, I ain't coming out. He is not coming out. They're going to either, what do we got here? On the 1 yard line? Yep, it's going to be another Jacobs run. You absolutely got to run it here. If they throw it, then that's a really arrogant play call. I mean, he got the fullback in. And he's in. Oh, my God. Man. It just never stops with this guy. It never stops with this guy. It just doesn't. It never stops, man. Josh Jacobs. And they decline. And how stupid are the Raiders, though? They decline the option. And, yeah, I'm not playing against him, Rain. The guy that I need to lose. But nothing's gone right for me on that league anyway, so I'm not surprised. The only thing I can think of is Jesus fuck. I mean, he got 8 points on the 8.1 on the first drive of the game. So 9:13 to go, 7 carries already for 21 yards. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. I just don't get it. It is what it is. So, Josh Jacobs owners, rejoice because you're absolutely killing it this season. So, again, now that he's got the touchdown out of the way, even if they do take him out early, in a blowout game, that's, I think, going to be an absolute blowout, you can do it and not have you not be totally screwed. So, he was projected for 18.4 points. He's on pace for 24. Yeah, I don't know, Rain. It's frustrating this year in this one league. So I'm 7-6. I'm in 5th place. I got to win this week. I got Leonard Fournette showing up on the injury report. I got DeAndre Hopkins, who's sick and didn't practice. I got Jacoby Myers, who's on the concussion protocol. Is dealing with a concussion. I just wanted to see what they said about Myers. So Devontae Parker. Okay, yeah. So I got no quarterback this week. I have to use Sam Darnold. I mean, my God, Palmer or McKenzie for a bench spot. McKenzie, Because again, if Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are healthy, Palmer just doesn't have a lot of value. 7-6, not bad. You can still win and make the playoffs. I could still lose and make the playoffs. I could back in. I have more points than the other teams that are on the bubble. So the fourth place team is 8-5, who I'm playing. And then behind me, there's 1, 2, 3 teams that are 7-6, and I've outscored all 3 of them. One of them significantly that won't be able to catch me. So it's really a battle between me and 2 other teams for the last 2 playoff spots. So one of us is going to get squeezed. And I think the guy in 7th who has Josh Jacobs, like I told you, is going to win tonight. Just got to see what else happens. I mean, it's frustrating. Listen, I got to win. That's it. If I win and I'm in, that's what I'm looking at here. I have to win my match this week, and the guy 2 ranks in front of me, I have more points than him to make the playoffs. Yeah, listen. And here's the thing, too, in this particular league that I'm 7-6 in, I have the most points scored against me. So I'm the 4th highest scoring team, and I've had I'm the 3rd highest scoring team, but I've had the most points scored against me, and it's not even close. So, I mean, that's really frustrating. That's what I hate about fantasy football. It's just the randomness of it. All right, so let's see what the Rams can do. I mean, if they go 3 and out, it's going to be a long day, a long night. I just had some tough luck. Yeah, really bad tough luck. Really, really bad tough luck. I don't think they slept on Devontae so much, but it was Tyreek Hill. They definitely slept on Tyreek Hill, no doubt about it. So in the matchup, while we're waiting for the start of this drive. So in the matchup that I need to win, I have Sam Darnold right now at quarterback. That's, horrible. And my opponent has Josh Allen. Yikes, right? So, that's horrible. His receivers, though, he's got Christian Kirk. And we don't know if Trevor Lawrence is playing. He's got Marquise Brown. He's got DJ Moore. I have CeeDee Lamb, DeAndre Hopkins, and Jacoby Myers. And I could put in DJ Chark if Myers is out. So I have the advantage at receiver. Now his running backs are Joe Mixon and Najee Harris. Mine's Tony Pollard and Leonard Fournette. I think he's got the slight advantage. His tight end is George Kittle. Mine is Schultz. He's got the advantage there too. His flex is Gus Edwards, and mine is Rashad White. So I'm projected to win 115-109. But, he's got the better quarterback. He's got the better I think the tight ends are a wash. I got the better receivers. He's got the better running back. So we'll see. So it is Cam Akers in there on first down. Actually, good run on first down. So listen, the biggest thing, if you're a Josh Jacobs owner right now, you want the Rams to come right down and score. That's the number one thing you want to see right now. Expecting Mark Andrews to play better this week, as you're saying. Yes, Mark Andrews with Tyler Huntley is going to be back on track. Speaking of Andrews, I talked about that on that video. I still have it here. Against Pittsburgh with Huntley last season, 8 catches for 85. Against the Rams with Huntley, 6 catches for 89. Against Green Bay with Huntley, 10 catches for 136 and 2 scores. Against Cleveland with Huntley, 11 catches for 115 and a score. And against Chicago with Huntley, 8 for 73. So those are insane numbers for Mark Andrews. He's going to go ballistic. My opponent has Diggs and Debo. I have Chase and Kirk. Your opponent has the better combination. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't play, Christian Kirk is now just a flex. Listeners, in my other league, I traded Justin Jefferson. I received Joe Burrow, Metcalf, Olave, Pierce, and Mixon. What? I'm surprised that trade was even allowed to go through. That's a little ridiculous. I guess Olave and Pierce really weren't. Still, even if it was just Mixon, Metcalf, and Burrow, that's too much. Look at this. See, that can't happen. You can't run that play. That just can't happen. That's Sean McVay being an idiot and trying to think he knows football more than everybody else. That is a horrific play call. You got Kyron Williams behind him. They're trying to get cute. They won't throw the football, and they run garbage. God, that was just awful. Lockdown. Yeah, they totally locked him down. That was just awful. So now Raiders are going to get the ball right back, and they'll probably come down and score again. If you're a Derek Carr owner, you really want to see him air it out a little bit more in that first drive. And it goes into – so nothing's going right for the Rams. So the punt goes into the end zone. They took 2 penalties on the first drive. They 3 and out on their first offensive possession. Just awful football. I mean, I know Sean McVay's got his hands are tied. There's not much he can do. It was complete trash, like Rise just said. Awful. I mean, you gotta help out your team. You gotta do better than that. My opponent has Devin Singletary, Raheem Mostert. I have Nick Chubb, Ramondre Stevenson. Chubb and Stevenson are definitely better. I can see Jacobs going top 5 next year. Yeah, but here's the thing too. Like, are we paying for a career season? Because that's what this is. Once he gets paid, is he going to have those kind of results? I mean, human nature being what it is. Coming off a very heavy usage season too. A lot of times guys that have the kind of usage that Jacobs has tend to bounce the next season and their numbers go down and they get injured. So, that's also something we're going to have to look at when it comes to Jacobs. So, I mean, listen, he's got 8 points already in the first quarter and there's 7:03 to go. So, I mean, it's going to be a name that score evening for Josh Jacobs. He may not, and it's hard to expect him to have that kind of season again. No doubt about it. Yeah, it's crazy. I really needed Jacobs not to have a good day today. I'm back on Breece Hall. Yeah, I'm fully on Breece Hall. He got injured earlier enough in the season. I think he'll be 100% for the start of the season. So that being said, I still think he could be a late first-round pick. And it's funny. Next year, DeAndre Swift is going to drop a lot in drafts. He's probably going to drop into the 3rd or 4th round. And people are going to be like, oh, man, DeAndre Swift, what a steal. And they're just going to get burned all over again because he's going to get hurt. He's not going to have all the carries, all that. The same story. It's, Death Lord, it's tough. He had 14 points against Gardner the first half last time and then was shut out during the second half. Derek Carr getting emotional. I don't know if he tore his ACL. Yeah, ACL, I mean, it's going to be close. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks in, maybe he returns. Drafted him. Yeah, Breece Hall definitely worked out nicely. Yep, the exact same people be hyping up. So, yeah, for sure. So, Derek Carr is underrated. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. He puts up numbers every year. He's not a runner. He's fairly accurate, gets the ball out quick, generally makes the right reads. The team seems to respond to him and play hard for him. So Jacobs is still in. Best handcuff running backs for the playoffs. Jordan Mason for sure. All right, and Jacob, and now he's got it. That's coming back. That's going to be. Tell me that's on the Rams again. Yep, it's on the Rams again. Like, what are they doing? I mean, this is just an absolute disgrace, this game already. 3 penalties already on the defense. I mean, Raheem Morris has got to be beside himself right now. I think Dolphins will win the AFC East from those. They could. All right, so 5-yard penalty. Does Jacobs get credit for that catch, though? That's where they just accept the penalty. He gets the catch, right, guys? Mason Priya, yes. Carr is underrated for sure. Who's more to blame for Las Vegas losing record? Carr, McDaniels. Not Carr. Definitely not Carr. It's McDaniels. Who would you do? Amon-Ra, St. Brown for Josh Allen, Olave? Yeah, I think I would. I mean, I still think there's a chance that he doesn't get the catch. All right, so it just came off. So Jacobs does not get credit for that catch. Josh, if you have Tua and you're trading Josh Allen and Olave, yeah, I guess I would do it. I mean, Amon-Ra is right there now with Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs. So, if you need that alpha wide receiver, then yeah, I would do it. So another first down. I mean, the Rams are just absolutely killing themselves. Ooh, that should have been picked off. That was a bad pass. See, now that was a bad pass. I just got done praising Derek Carr, and he just made a really bad pass there. All right, so it looks like the guard for the Raiders is questionable to return. So, again, I don't understand this. They draft Zamir White, and they hardly give him any carries. If Josh Jacobs, he's going to be a free agent. They could franchise tag him. I mean, that's definitely a possibility of them franchise tagging Josh Jacobs, but they don't give Zamir White any opportunity. Now that was a nice run. Matt Collins getting it done. Maybe Raiders are tanking because they're going to draft a quarterback. They're not tanking, Death Lord. No way. They've won 3 in a row. They're going to win 4 in a row tonight, and they're now on the periphery of the playoffs. And with the expanded playoffs, they have a chance to make it. Oh, you're getting Josh Allen? Yeah, I mean, Allen's an improvement over Tua, so I could see why he would do that. But I really love Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's the only problem. I'm not sure. I really am not too sure about that one because Tua is excellent. So, and Allen's hurt. I wouldn't do it. All right, Jacobs back in again. So that's already his 8th carry. He's on pace for 30 carries in this game. What is Josh McDaniel doing? This is the game that you give Zamir White a look. Unreal. That's okay. I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying. Raiders are not tanking. Yeah, no, the Raiders definitely not tanking. No way. All right, so Amir Abdullah's in there. Matt Collins, he's got some head of hair, this guy. He went to North Carolina. I didn't even know that. And he's been quite unheralded. Atlanta's finally starting red. I talked about that earlier. He's the same player as Marcus Mariota. Nice. Wow. So Matt Collins is getting it done today. So Jalen Ramsey so far is kind of holding his own with Devontae Adams. I mean, it was just the one contested catch so far. I'm a Steelers fan. You think it would be smart for us to tank? They don't like to use that word. Yeah, I mean, Kenny Pickett's not the guy. I mean, he's definitely not the guy. I don't really like what I see from him. I think he could be a really good backup. I mean, he plays with a lot of energy. The team seems to respond to him. So I think Kenny Pickett could have a long career as a backup that comes in, gives you a spark when needed. Polumsky, but I'm not a big fan of his. All right, Jacobs, another. Jacobs, honestly, he's not getting a lot of daylight. He's got 9 carries, and what has he got? 9 carries for 9. Well, day wasn't updated, but 8 for 24 before that one. So now 9 for 28. So that's pretty crappy efficiency. But giving him 8 carries. A lot of big workloads for him, and that's why he's so banged up. They're going to continue. Yeah, looks like they're just going to run him the whole game. I love Amon-Ra. Since I'm a Lions fan, just want to make sure I was making the right decision. Yeah, I mean, I like Amon-Ra a lot too. All right. That was not going anywhere. Is it the fullback? Holland's getting looks. Yeah, he's getting looks. I guess Jalen Ramsey so far is, doing his job. I mean, he's absolutely got singed by DeAndre Hopkins in a game that I watched this season. So, Jalen Ramsey's just a big mouth. I don't like him. So you give the guy props. Yeah, listen, he definitely give the guy props for playing hurt for sure. He's also selfishly is looking for a new contract. Let's be fair too. Do you think Cup top 3 first round again next? No, I don't. I don't think Matthew Stafford's playing next year. I think he's going to retire. I think he's had some scary injuries. He's had the 2 concussions. I don't see him playing this year. I think we've seen, he's now Cooper Kupp is 30 years old. He's had 2 serious injuries in the last 4 years. I think we've seen the cliff of Cooper Kupp, and I don't think the value will ever match the numbers that he put up the last couple of years. So I'm not chasing Cooper Kupp next season for sure, even if Stafford somehow is back. Ramsey does a lot of talking sometimes. So yeah, way too much. So I was doing a profile on Jahmyr Gibbs for my college football draft guide. I started, I finished the quarterbacks, or I did most of the quarterbacks, and now I'm up to the running backs. I did Bijan Robinson. That guy. Listen, guys. You talk about the next fantasy football monster coming out of college, Bijan Robinson, the Texas running back. He's going to be the next PPR dynamo. I wouldn't even be surprised if he ends up getting drafted in the early 2nd round next season. I just can't even tell you how good this guy is going to be. Like he could do it all. Blazing speed, could take it to the house anywhere on the field. He can catch the ball. He is the real deal. But Jahmyr Gibbs, the Alabama running back, I'm also very high on as well. And you look at the history of Alabama running backs, it's crazy. I mean, how many high-end guys that they put in the NFL, especially over the last 15 years, Derrick Henry, Mark Ingram, Eddie Lacy for a short time at least, obviously Brian Robinson. So, I mean, the guys that they keep putting out, Josh Jacobs, and the field goal's good. So now 10-0. So, I mean, listen, he didn't score a touchdown. So at least, they'll still keep the offensive players. I mean, they would anyway through the half, but at least it's still somewhat of a close game. How about this? Debo for Pittman. I'm getting Pittman. No. Nobody on the Colts. No. And I think Debo's going to have a better finish now that he's got Brock Purdy, believe it or not, because he's going to be used a lot in the short passing game and on handoffs. But anyway, yeah, it's uncanny the amount of Alabama running backs that have come into the NFL of late. Where do you see Tom Brady going if he decides not to? He could. I mean, I've been hearing the Tampa Bay scenario, maybe even the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders have always been mentioned as a possibility. I don't know what the Carr contract situation is. Ramsey says he's him. Yeah, Ramsey. Ramsey's playing with other great players, so likes of Donald Linebackers. Yeah, I mean, listen, the Alabama pipeline, and even at receiver too. I mean, all over the field. But the running back numbers, the running back history of Alabama is just incredible. The amount of guys that they've sent to the NFL. I mean, some of them have been misses. Trent Richardson, not T.J. Yeldon, but most of them have been good to very good. Are you only live on Thursdays? No, Palumsky, I'm live almost every day. So I'm live Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. I'm every day of the week, Monday to Friday, and then Sunday. So 6 days a week. Lately, I've been doing. Earlier in the season was like 4 days a week. Now I'm up to like 6 because it's been fairly well received, and I like doing this Thursday cast during the game so we could check out the game together, live and die together on some of these things. And I've already said the fantasy football championship week, I'm going to be doing a live stream all day, an all-day stream. So we'll wrap up the season together. Hopefully I have at least one team in the Super Bowl, the fantasy Super Bowl, and you guys too. And we'll bask in glory, hopefully together, or we'll cry together as we lose. So that's how we'll do it. So Palumsky, as far as the times during the week, it's usually around 5:00 mostly, but that's why you have to hit the notification button if you haven't done so already, because you'll get the notification when I set up the stream. All right. So just always make sure you have that notification button hit. Do you remember Alfred Morris? Yes, I do remember Alfred Morris. Where did he go to college? I don't remember where Alfred Morris went to college, though, which is rare for me because I usually don't forget players where they went to college. Where did Alfred Morris go to college? I forget. He was, for a couple of years, he was, oh yes, you're welcome, Palumsky. For a couple of years with the Redskins, there he was fairly useful. Didn't catch any passes though. All right, so Florida Atlantic. Yeah, I knew it was a smaller school. All right, so Powell. All right, so I mean, maybe they'll throw a pass this time. What do you think? Oh God, here he is! Holy shit! I have to put the volume up a little bit. Baker Mayfield is in. Is he going to throw to Van Jefferson right off the bat here? That's another thing. I need Van Jefferson to have a decent day because somebody else I need to do well has Van Jefferson. So I need him to do well. Listen, I mean, this could work. We'll see. All right, Baker, let's see what you got. I mean, this is probably going to be very basic stuff they're going to have him run here. I can't see it being. There it is. Oh, my God. Look at that. I just said it. Van Jefferson. Wow. Listen, that was a good throw. That was a really good throw. That was a 3-point throw to Van Jefferson, 21 yards. That was a good throw. If we could just see more of that. See, why wouldn't they just start him though? Like, that's what I don't understand. Can't imagine having the Bears defense special teams when they had Devin Hester. Yeah, Devin Hester, he was a hell of a player. And speaking of Texas running backs, man, Jamal Charles, he was one of my all-time favorite players. I loved Jamal Charles. That guy was awesome. Look at Baker running around. Hey, listen, he's already given them a spark. You could see it. They're already responding. So, but Jamal Charles, he was one of my favorite players of all time in fantasy. I love Jamal Charles. The guy was awesome. He was so explosive. I mean, unfortunately, he had a lot of injuries. You know, he definitely had a lot of injuries, but he was good. And John Wolford sitting there like, yeah, I'm not playing the rest of the night. All right, I think I'm probably going to do a run play here for Cam Akers to soften up the defense a little bit. Yep. God, see, he just doesn't have any burst. See, now that run is a perfect example of the problem with Cam Akers. He has no acceleration anymore. Like, he couldn't even cut that to the outside. Like, that was a really telling run right there. He just doesn't have it anymore. Thoughts on Drake London and Mariota being benched? It's the same quarterback. A less experienced quarterback who has the same profile as Marcus Mariota. Not a great passer, not overly accurate, good arm, but not accurate, and he's going to run a lot. He's an athlete. All right. Come on, throw a bomb to Van Jefferson. Let's go. That's got to be a flag. Yeah, I was going to say that was definitely pass interference. I don't know what he's throwing his hands up for. He didn't even turn around, guys. I mean, like, I have no idea what he's possibly complaining about. Did he turn around? He grabbed his jersey, didn't turn around until the ball was even past him, and he's throwing his hands up like, what did I do? Yeah, I mean, I don't understand that one. All right, so University of Miami probably better at putting players in the NFL and Alabama example. Sean Taylor, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Devin Henry. Yeah, I mean, listen, the high-end players definitely. Well, I disagree with you. That's, 20 years ago. The last 10 years, it's Alabama by an absolute landslide. Oh, man, what was it, offsetting penalties? I didn't hear that. Oh, what was the other penalty, guys? I don't have the volume loud because I'm doing this thing with you guys, so I don't want to have any feedback from the TV. What was the penalty on the Rams? All right, it's good. All right, 10-3 games. So I mean, that's about all you could ask for at this point. So yeah, listen, Mayfield came into his job. They said it was no flag. Are you serious? How was that no flag? He grabbed his jersey and didn't even turn around. Oh man, Jesus, pass interference is just, you got to be kidding me with that. I mean, that was horrific. That was bullshit, man. How was that not pass interference? The Rams are getting absolutely hosed in this game. Absolutely hosed. So what do we got? 6 seconds to go in the first quarter. So let's take a look at the box score here. Of course, I got to start getting this. At least I hide it. I'm starting to get those spam stuff coming in. So I'm sorry if you see any of that. I'm trying to block it before it goes through. Yeah, he's grabbing beyond 5 yards for sure. Sean Taylor and Devin, no, they both are not Hall of Famers. I don't think so. Taylor, unfortunately, didn't play long enough. And Hester, specialty guy, I don't see it. All right, so far, Derek Carr has got 61 yards. Jacobs, 10 carries for 29 yards, 2.9 a carry. He's got the touchdown. Cam Akers, 3 for 11. So Devontae Adams, 1 catch for 32 yards. So, I mean, Van Jefferson, 1 for 21. So the numbers are not really flowing fantasy-wise so far, other than that, fluky Josh, not fluky, but, I mean, 2 cracks at it from the 2-yard line. So, that and that's frustrating too. Like, again, if you're playing against Josh Jacobs, he scores right off the bat, and it's like, oh man, like, you already don't want to play against Josh Jacobs, and then he scores on the first drive of the game. It's like, oh my God, this is going to be a long night. That's like, you look and you see he's got 8 points with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter, and you start thinking to yourself, he's going to score 40 points tonight. Like, that's just a bad feeling. Yeah, listen, Devlin, Sean Taylor was really good. I don't see him as a Hall of Famer. I just don't think he played long enough. The Hall of Fame is very subjective anyway. I know there's a lot of guys that are on the ballot. Let me see if I could pull up the Hall of Fame ballot. Maybe we can have a little discussion. Hall of Fame ballot, because I know there's a lot of decent guys on the ballot this year. So, all right, let's see. All right, there's a Hall of Fame vote. All right, so they on the NFL.com they have a Hall of Fame vote. You can vote up to 5 modern era players. So let's do this together, all right? I see a video about DJ Shark. Should I start him over someone like Evans or Godwin? No, don't do that. I like Schultz over Njoku, and you start Godwin for sure. So Eric Allen, he's on the ballot. Not going to cast a vote for him yet. Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Ronde Barber, Anquan Bolden. There he is. Speaking of Henry Ellard, Jari Evans, London Fletcher, Dwight Freeney, James Harrison, Rodney Harrison, Devin Hester, Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson. Oh, I loved Andre Johnson. Jamal Charles, I loved Andre Johnson. I had him every year. Albert Lewis. I think Albert Lewis is a Hall of Famer. Robert Mathis. Darrelle Revis is absolutely, I'm casting the vote right now. Darrelle Revis is 100% a Hall of Famer. Steve Smith Sr., really underrated player. Steve Smith was extremely underrated. He was an asshole, but underrated severely. Godwin was start. Yeah, Godwin's feasting. Andre Johnson was a monster. Fred Taylor. Joe Thomas is a Hall of Famer. I'm voting for him. Zach Thomas. Hines Ward. DeMarcus Ware. Ricky Waters. Wow. Reggie Wayne. Vince Wilfork. Patrick Willis. Darren Woodson. Wow, that's hard, man. Revis is definitely a Hall of Famer. I like Hines Ward. He was a hell of a blocker. I'm going to vote Hines Ward. Hey, let's give Jacobs another carry. All right, so I have Joe Thomas, Hines Ward, Darrelle Revis. I have to go Albert Lewis. I don't know if anybody saw Albert Lewis play. He was another pure shutdown corner. So that's 4. James Harrison, man, he was good. So was Dwight Freeney. I'm stuck between Freeney and Harrison. I'm going to go James Harrison. So my ballot is James Harrison, Darrelle Revis, Albert Lewis, Joe Thomas, and Hines Ward. Matt Collins having a day. So that's my ballot. Hines Ward was great. He was a great blocker too. Steve Smith is right there, 100%. Revis is a no-brainer. Absolutely. I don't think anybody could disagree on Darrelle Revis or Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas, 100%, is a first ballot Hall of Famer. James Harrison, man. Yeah, he's tough. I like Dwight Freeney too. I do like Dwight Freeney. Torrey Holt was really good. But you got to look at it this way, guys. Is it really good or immortal? You know what I'm saying? Like there's that difference to good to great. Freeney's close. Freeney's definitely close. God, they just all they're doing is giving this guy carries. Is that coming back? Hands to the face. And on the Rams again. Unbelievable. They're just absolutely killing themselves with these penalties. This is a disgrace, man. I'm voting for Devin Hester, Joe Thomas. Not Devin Hester. I'm sorry. I can't go there. Darrelle Revis, James Harrison, and it's been Hines Ward. Yeah, so we agree on everything except Hester. I cannot go Devin Hester. I gather you're a Chicago fan. I can't do that. Not with that kind of ballot. No way. I mean, I respect your opinion. Don't get me wrong. I can't see it. So Jacobs right now, 12 carries for 40 yards. He's got 10 fantasy points right on the nose. So I said 15 or less. He's already at 10. All-time returner. Yeah, but just a returner, and not, he didn't do anything else. You have to be beyond good at something else too. You can't, I don't think you could just keep him as a returner and put him in the Hall of Fame. Season. Yeah, it was. I mean, listen, he was a really good player. He's on the ballot. So Josh McDaniels has given 13 carries to Josh Jacobs already. He's on pace for 23 fantasy points. Davante Adams has only one catch. So not the star you're looking for from Davante Adams. And they're making a concerted effort to give it to Matt Collins. Oh, look at this. They found something on film here with this. They absolutely found something on film, because this is the second time they've done this now with Matt Collins. Yep. Yeah, that's it, right. They just, Kirk Herbstreit just pretty much said the same thing. I can't go to Hester. He's great. Yeah, I agree. He was great at returning kicks, but I can't. Who was that guy on the Chiefs that lit it up returning kicks for a short time? Who was that guy on the Chiefs? Was it Dante Hall? I don't know why that name is sticking in my head. Who is that guy? Man, my opponent started Adams and Hollins. Adams and Hollins. Yeah, well, Adams only has one catch right now, so. All right, 1st and 10. Who's that? All right, Cole Sr. So they're getting close to the end zone again. If Josh Jacobs scores again, I'm sorry, guys. It's if you're playing against him, it's over. You're gonna lose. He's gonna have 20 points at the half. What do you think of Ray Lewis? Oh, Ray Lewis is a first ballot Hall of Famer for sure. No doubt about it. Definitely has a story to tell for sure. Not sure we'll ever hear the real story though. If you're going to put Deion Sanders and Dante Hall in the Hall of Fame, then you put Deion Sanders was the greatest cover corner in the history of the NFL. So that's why you put Deion Sanders in the Hall of Fame. He was the greatest corner in the history of the NFL. All right, Adams, I have J-Ram on him. Jalen Ramsey's playing a good game so far tonight. Well, this could be a spot though where they throw it up to Adams here. So we'll see. Wow, if anybody's a baseball fan, Brandon Nimmo signed with the New York Mets, 8 years, $162 million. 8 years for $162 for Brandon Nimmo. So if you're a Mets fan, that's a pretty big deal. All right, 2nd and 4. Jacobs is still in, and they gave it to him again. Oh my God. So this is interesting. I think it's on the Raiders. Do you decline it? Bring up 3rd down? See, they stopped them, though, for a loss. I don't know about that, Cole. What do you think, guys? I mean, 2nd down, they stopped him for what, a 2-yard loss? I don't know. I guess, I mean, the kickers are so good. I don't think it's really going to impact the quality of the kick. Luke Kuechly was really good, 100%. Favorite NFL like Luke Kuechly? Luke Kuechly was great. Panthers fan, Adams score here. Yeah, you need an Adams score. No, you could never throw to Deion Sanders' side. He got bored because he had no action. And that year he was a hired gun with the 49ers. They won a Super Bowl. All right, so what are we at here? 2nd down. I'd be surprised if they run this here. They might dump it off, though, to Jacobs. This would be a good play. Oh. Josh McDaniels is really going deep into the playbook tonight, isn't he, guys? All right. Charles Woodson. Yes, Charles Woodson was really good, too. He was very, very good. No doubt about it. Darrell Green, anybody that's old enough to remember Darrell Green, too, the Redskins, he was phenomenal. And the guy, Darrell Green, even when he was like almost 40 years old, was still like one of the fastest guys in the NFL. One of the fastest players I've ever seen. Okay. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I got the downs all mixed up. I thought that was I got the downs mixed up. I'm sorry. So they made the right call there. So Yeah, listen, this is a slow start. Oh, wow. And the Mets also got David Robertson. Sorry, I sprinkled some baseball in here. So 13-3. So, I mean, listen, the Rams are not stopping them, but, what do we got? We got 9:40 to go. Jacobs has 10 points. Devontae Adams has, I think, only 3, right? Let me see. 4.20. So 4.20 still with just that one catch. Darrell Green. Yeah, Darrell Green was fast as hell. No doubt about it. I want to say Darrell Green. Didn't know if anyone knew about him. Yeah, I'm a little bit, I'm not, I was very young when he played, but he was a hell of a player. I tell you what, that ballot was loaded. I had a hard time. I think we could all agree though, Joe Thomas and Darrell Revis are locks. There's no doubt about it. And I think Hines Ward, because not only was he an excellent receiver and he was clutch, but he was a fantastic blocker. And he was actually a little dirty too, I got to say. He kind of towed that line of being clean and dirty with some of his blocks. Especially, yeah. No, listen, Deathwood, I get it. Like I said, I respect your opinion, but I personally don't have Devin Hester in the Hall of Fame. Champ Bailey was good too. Yes, he was good, but he dropped off after like 5 years though. He didn't have that long, like a Darrell Green or a Deion Sanders, but he was just consistently good throughout the course of his career. And even Darrelle Revis too. When Darrelle Revis hit 30, he was noticeably not the same player that he was, earlier in his career. But yeah, there's some close calls. Dwight Freeney and Steve Smith Sr. are definitely close calls. I don't respect Steve Smith Sr. because of the domestic violence incident he had with his wife. Anytime a guy does that, they're scarlet lettered to me for the rest of their careers. I just can't look at them the same way. It's just a god awful thing to do, and I don't buy that everybody makes mistakes for whatever. Not that mistake. You can't make that mistake. You can't put your hands on a woman. I don't care who you are. Amari Cooper or Lockett. Lockett was great last week. I would have to say Lockett because Cooper's got a hip injury now. Lockett's been really good. As long as Geno Smith is playing, which I think he will be, then I think that you go with that. So is Baker Mayfield going to be back out here? Let's see. I hope so. I would like to see Baker finish out this game. There's no reason to have Wolford in there. There's no reason to do it. The guy, he can't play. He's not moving. He never moves the football. So there's just no way to do it. Yeah, he wasn't a good. He didn't ever want to tackle. You're right, Rise. Yeah, no, definitely, you're right about that. But yeah, Baker's coming back out. But again, you can't put somebody in the Hall of Fame based on projections. That's the problem. Not taking anything away from him, but it's tough to do that. You have to have longevity. Terrell Davis was one of the few exceptions where a guy had only a handful of really, really, and they were awesome seasons, and he ended up in the Hall of Fame. So, wow, look at that play. That's what they got to remember, those play calls. Man, I don't know how these guys learn these playbooks so quickly. That was a good cut by Cam Akers. Definitely, you're right, hardest hitter safety ever. I think Bo Jackson should be in the Hall of Fame. There's another, yeah, listen, I have no issue with Bo Jackson. So I just got the Jeff Pearlman Bo Jackson book, so I'm looking forward to reading that. I'm still reading the Jimmy Johnson book. I'm going to review that for you guys. So far, it's pretty good. It hasn't captured me yet, so it's taking me a little bit of time. When I read a book, it's got to capture me right away, and then I'll blow through it literally within 2 days. The Jimmy Johnson book's a little slow to start off so far. Just got through his college years, so now I'm almost at the Dallas portion of it, and that should be fairly more interesting. All right, so close to a first down here. I don't think Mayfield's coming off the bench the rest of the game. Coming off the field the rest of the game. So they're short here. Deion Sanders or Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson was a much better two sports star. I don't think there's any question about that. Deion Sanders was just an all right player. He was a stolen base guy in baseball. He was kind of a journeyman. Bo Jackson was just really good at everything. Come on, get the first down, dude. All right, there you go. Good. See, that was a tough run, and I don't have an issue with him being a tough runner, but it's just about the lack of speed. And Kyron Williams is just not getting it. He's not getting the time, unfortunately. Yeah, Bo Jackson. I mean, it's a shame, man. Everybody can just shake their head at the disappointment of not seeing Bo Jackson able to have a longer career with that hip injury. That hip injury was just devastating. It really was. John Wolfer should just take his helmet off. There's no point in even him having his helmet on anymore. All right. Well, Tutu Atwell. This guy's got speed. That was a good throw. Baker looks good, guys. He's looking good so far. I mean, Tutu Atwell is a small guy. He's a little scat guy, but he's got good speed. Jerry Rice. My God, he was so good. Got Carlson in a kicker, outscoring Hans and Adams with 9 points on PPR. Yeah, I mean, listen, Adams is not. We're already approaching. Come on, throw it to. See, now there you go. There's a busted play. That's a busted play. So maybe Mayfield. That was a mistake, right? Rice, great hands. You know who was really put up insane numbers and was always good throughout the end? Warren Moon. Anybody who was old enough to see Warren Moon, his numbers were staggering. I saw the tail end of his career, but oh my God, every year his numbers were insane for the time period that he played in too. Was amazing. And Randall Cunningham, boy, that guy was that. Randall Cunningham. If Randall Cunningham played today, he'd be like the first pick in fantasy football drafts. 4 greatest safeties: Sean Taylor, Ed Reed, Ronnie Lott, and Brian Dawkins. John Lynch was there too. You got to have John. You see again, Cam Akers. He just when he tries to change direction, he gets no speed. John Lynch was right there. All right, so you know what? Listen, this game is a lot closer than anybody could have. I mean, it's still a 10-point game. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it's closer than anybody probably could have foreseen at this point of the game. Yeah, Troy Polamalu. Yeah, there's a good one. All right, come on, let's get a first down here. 3rd and 13. Yikes. All right, so I think after this drive, I'm gonna end the stream because voice is starting to go. I've been on for over an hour and a half. I want to see what they do here with this drive. Hopefully, they can get the first down. Ed McCaffrey had great hands. Yep, he did have great hands. He never dropped anything. I loved it when he played for the Giants. Eric Decker was really good too. Not a great player. I'm not trying to put him in that category, but Eric Decker was quietly a very good player, sort of in that Ed McCaffrey mold. And man, things worked out pretty well for Eric Decker too on the personal front, marrying Jesse James. You know, some guys get all the luck, right? Yeah, Rod Smith was good. I remember Rod Smith. They had some really good players on those teams. All right, so maybe I would imagine Van Jefferson is the read here. And again, you know, Tyler Higbee, just nothing from Tyler Higbee. Watch, he catches a pass here, but like he's just not even involved in the offense. 3rd and 13. If he can pick up this first down here, man, that's going to really galvanize him. He's got time. Look at that. Skoranek. Wow, he just threw a P. Ben Skoranek. Wow, guys, we might have a somewhat competitive game here. You know, TD was awesome. Yep, Julian Edelman, greatest slot receiver of all time. Not even saying that as a Patriots fan. No. Wes Welker, I think, was a better slot receiver than Julian Edelman was, and I'm sure there's other guys we can come up with. He was good though. Don't get me wrong. Pick 3, D-Hop, Juju. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Do you believe this? Tell me they lost to football. Oh my God. Like Cam Akers, though. But again, that's Sean McVay, though. Why he keeps giving it to this guy is beyond me. Just give it to Kyron Williams. This guy just sucks. Get him off the field. God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Get him off the field. What are you doing? He's just, I'm sorry, Gorilla. D Hop, Juju, Garrett Wilson, Peoples Jones, Palmer, Myers, Watson on a bye. Let me go back there. You got to go Hopkins, you got to go Juju, and you got to go Garrett Wilson. Those are the top three. I cannot believe, well, I could believe it because Cam Akers just sucks. Sean McVay. God, I mean, he looks like such a chump this season, Sean McVay. He really does. He's just been making god-awful moves. I mean, it's just he has no clue what's going on. It's just bad. All right, guys, I think I'm going to put a lid on it. It's been a long stream, so I will definitely see you guys tomorrow for the 5 o'clock 5 o'clock Football Friday. I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry. So I don't know if they're as bad as the Texans, but they're pretty bad, Brian. But anyway, so guys, make sure, have a good night. Enjoy the rest of this game. Hopefully Josh Jacobs doesn't go crazy. And, like I said, check me out tomorrow, probably around 5 o'clock Eastern time. And you're welcome, Rise Above. I appreciate you guys too and all you contribute to the show. So, I will definitely check in with you guys tomorrow with the updated injury report, and we'll go from there. All right. So have a great night, everybody. And yes, Gorilla, welcome to the family. I hope you make sure you hit the subscribe button. And I will talk to all of you. Death Lord, you have a good night, and we will chat soon. Take care, everybody.